I'm Keith Kelly. I teach middle school up here in Nokomis, which is Newport. I do fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade integrated technology. I've been a language arts teacher. I've been a librarian, back to social studies after COVID, and then back to this integrated technology. This is for the teacher leader fellow. Basically, what they came up with is we have MLT ambassadors, but what they were trying to do is kind of get some areas that like have civics, I'm STEM, and then humanities, and a couple of those areas. And so there is professional development around that. If you go to steammakers.education, everything I've done is there. And I've gone through what I do in fifth grade with teamwork and building with cars and doing competitions. I've done sixth grade, which is the Legos and the coding. That's there. And then I have a whole website based on that too. Seventh grade, I talked about how I do skateboards and 3D printing in eighth grade. And so this one now I'm starting to do, and I have one that is more focused on the 3D modeling software SketchUp and Tinkercad. And after we're done 3D printing, I do a coding one on coding in the classroom that's available. Now, this one we're going to focus on video capture. Well, basically, I do 4th through basically high school. And as I said, in the fifth grade, we do the teamwork, and I have to have a way of capturing this content, like them showing me their building process. So video becomes that. How do they show me their coding? They can show me the finished product, but how do I see the process as it goes? In 7th grade, we do skateboards. So I have to use video for training purposes and almost like driver's ed, where it becomes self-contained, where they can take the quizzes and synchronously at any time that they want to have access, like what you guys are doing. Some people will watch my video of this training later on. And 8th grade, we get into 3D design and prototyping. And what starts to happen is some of our communication starts to become video. And now I'm going to be this is all video based, like what tools can you make, just using what's available. I also try to use free as much as possible. So very rarely are you going to see something I'm using that is, oh, it costs money. Sometimes I do. There's some features that I might want if I'm using it. So how do we capture the process in a maker classroom? In 5th grade, we define roles. So someone's academic assistant, where they fill the paperwork out, and someone's master builder, where they build, and someone's inventory control, where they get the stuff. And what I found, what's an interesting thing that happens, that what I realized one of the roles is being an observer, like watching what's doing. And then also I found, like, how do I have kids show me their work? Now, I used to do it with these old cameras, and it was a pain because you'd take the cameras and then I'd have to take SD cards. It can go automatically right up to my photo album. So it's a lot easier. And I'm going to show you some video tools that are really helpful, where the little video clips come right to me. I don't chase them down or anything of that nature. So the other thing too is kids are living in the world with telephones. So they're used to TikToks and short little videos and interacting video based. Okay. So I'm trying to, how you can just catch what you're doing. We kind of all did this with COVID, with the virtual, where I would sit and literally video myself either teaching or video what I was doing at the class, and the kids would access it. And I'm using Meets or Zooms for that. Individual is Loom, Screencastify, and FaceTime. So they're doing little short videos and sending it to me. So the 3 categories: classroom, individual. The 3rd category is editing. So once you get video done and you want to edit, I don't do a lot of this. This is more for me, or I have some higher level kids, I'll have them edit. We do a Wevideo edit, but that's another level. Our high school kids in our broadcasting does this as well. But I'm just going to show you those tools. Okay, so classroom. So this is just basically class grabbing a Google Meets and just recording what we're doing. And Zoom, so you guys joined me in Zoom. I'm recording this screen that you see right now. I'm sharing my screen, so I have video of me as well as what you're seeing. This is just a slideshow that I'm sharing to you. when this is done, this will come to me and then I can just turn around and give this back. But it's going to get these errors that we've just had. You guys that are sitting in there, when you ask questions, there's dead times, but sometimes that's all you want to do. When I was teaching during COVID, they had me teach social studies. That's what I would do. I'd go through and just do this. The other thing too is you can just capture, just hold up a camera. So this is a video and.
Is it recording?
Yep.
Okay, so the bandsaw is for cutting, right? A couple things about it. Let's do the labeling first, okay? Starting from top to bottom. Now, it shows a lamp in the picture on the back of it. You guys see that? Mm-hmm. We don't use the lamp because this is plenty bright enough, right? So I kind of tuck the lamp away. So that's the lamp. This is a tensioner. So the word tension, I-O-R.
So you can see, this is just someone holding a camera, a phone camera in front of me, videoing. Now I run a little video and then I can have this to give the kids. Why this becomes helpful for me is because it's hard to have just a manual and tell them. I can demo and show it to them. Also, they can access this at another time. So you don't have to get fancy with it. You can just literally hold a phone up and video it. So that's simple. And we all have access to phones now, which we didn't before. A lot of us didn't have that phone access before. So that's one thing. The other way in Google Meet, so this is me literally doing a meet, and you'll see I'm starting the meet. This is just like Zoom, no different. I start the recording, and this is my students looking at my class, and I'm going over how to do things in the class as we go. And you can see the only problem is you end up with dead time, this type of stuff, extra stuff of like this is, you'll see I'll jump in and. All right. So last class I asked you to get into CS first, the game design. So you clicked on this, you click on that, and it opens up the making different games. The first one is a game character basically. And then you do racing game in each one as we go. There's video of me going over it if you needed that. Looking at the thing it said, so let's see. So McKenna, you got through 2 of the 8 videos so far. Hayden's got through all 8. All right, good job, Hayden. And so has Lily. So you guys got through all 8 of the 8. Let me go check, and don't forget at the end you want to hand me the game that you make, the game story one that you make as well. Don't forget to do that as well. So this let me, teaching from my classroom, my kids would access it asynchronous at home or when we were doing COVID, and they were watching as we go. Pretty simple stuff. And that's basic. Now I'm going to go out and do a meet so you can see. And basically, when you do the meet, you have to allow the camera and join. This is just kind of like the Zoom and all of that stuff. So let me get out here. Let me go here, new share. So I'm going to share. Now you're going to see the classroom. So here's my Google Classroom. You do have to, when you set up your Google Class, you do have to set up so there is a meet and you give a link, but you can see. So what my kids would do is come in when they were at home, they'd go into their classroom, and in the stream, they just literally come and click this meet, and that's the meet we had. Now, you got to think about this when you're doing this for security purposes. I just have to allow the settings. I do have to say, you've got to think of security purposes. Like only my students were able to get it. Now we have our system set up. That's why I use Google Classroom or Zoom, is I have it set up so the kids in the class are the only ones that can get into this meet. You can turn on your mic, turn on your camera. It's going to have a problem with this right now because I'm using the camera for Zoom. So they're fighting with each other. Same as I'm going to turn this mic off so we don't get feedback. But basically you hit join now. And what happens, just what you saw in that little video I gave you, you have the ability to share your screen, hit record. This comes to your Google Drive, and you'll have it a little bit of a share and everything that's that way. I'm going to go back to the class, the little video I have so you can kind of see. And then the kids at home, they're watching this and you're just recording what your classes. That's a pretty simple. It used to be this was hard when we first did it, but now it's starting to get so that it's more commonplace. So I'm going to stop the share and then I'm going to share that original slideshow. Let me go back to my, okay. So this is a little hard for me to do because we are doing video. I'm doing live. I'd love to show you my Zoom, but you in my Zoom. So that's why I'm doing it this way. But in this video, when you watch it, basically what happens, the kids have hit that join button in the Meet. And once they hit that join and I've let them in, then what happens is they're all there. Okay, so that's Google Meet. Google Meets is just to collect the information. I do that for this right now. When I'm all done, I'll take this. I'm going to show you how I do it, but I'll take this video, raw video, put it in an editor and cut out all this junk, like what's happened to us where, oh, the sound's cut out, and if it is, I'll go back through and I'll fix it. Pretty much, if you're in it and you're using it now, you probably have some experience with it, but I just didn't want to not talk about it and then have it be, oh yeah, that's something you can do, Okay, then the next level is individual. So I use Meets just to do regular classroom, something in general that everybody in the class should see. Individual is the kids are going and videoing themselves doing something, either the building that I do or they're screen capturing their recording. And once they do that, then that comes to me and I'm getting, so now I'm adding kind of an individual, or you can do a little bit with groups. You can do like 2 or 3 kids in Word, do a video together for me. I use Flip, screen capture, there's Loom, there's screen capture, there's tons of them. So Flip, so these are my students, they're building something in Legos. They have a webcam, kind of looks like this, just a regular webcam. One thing that's kind of cool is because of COVID, we ended up with 20 million webcams. Well, so I was able to take the webcams people weren't using. So each one of my groups, the kids sit there with their laptops and I have them pull one of these webcams out. And so one of the kids is the video you're seeing. That's one of the kids running a Flip, videoing these kids working.
Some kind of piece, and then
currently we're trying to build,
and then this will
sort
lower
of
it
like a slide.
like this. Yes.
The slide developer.
Now it's a short little video. It's about, I don't go 2 minutes. I don't go more than 2. I don't give them like 20 minutes. It's short little, show me what you're doing. So now as a teacher, I can watch this and I can say, oh yeah, they actually did it. An interesting effect that happens is these cameras are running. So if these two are fighting the whole time, it comes across on the camera. Also what happens is one group, there's 6 cameras all going on. So if one group is being inappropriate, but if they're not on their own camera, they get picked up on another. So it does help me go and keep kind of maintenance of the room because I can't be to every group. This is, because I did social studies, so I taught them longitude and they had to figure out how to do it on their own. So they just, again, this student just took a camera.
So I found the Big Dipper. I draw my imaginary line to the North Star. And it ends at 35.
Right, 35. Good job.
So she handed this in to me. Now we had to do it virtually because of COVID, but she took it, sent it in, and I had it. I will point out, you'll see she's pixelated. I'm going to talk to you about how I did that so that if I wanted to, I don't want people to see things. You can have the kids explain the building process. So here's the kids.
So this is the first part of this bike rhino. This is the part that's going to make it go. Now we're starting the coding sequence.
So you can see she's telling me everything. Again, I can hear stuff in the background, but it's become self-contained. Now it's really helpful because it just comes to me. You can also screen capture. So this is video and the kids are screen capturing and teaching, showing me, like I did this for the kids to show them how to, so I don't have to 5 million times show them how to get into their Lego robot and Bluetooth connect it. So the kids had access to it. And again, this is me screen capturing and you're hearing my voice too. So now I'm going to show you how I did that using Flip. it changed Flipgrid. So Flipgrid, all you got to do is go out and you make a account. It's a free account. You're just going to make an account. Here, I'm going to jump out and show you the actual Flipgrid. I just got to share a different screen. Let's see. Oh, here it is. When you see, so what you're seeing, oh, I'm just going to pull this over here. It'd be easier for me to look. Okay. So you make a class, you just say your group. It's also really cool. So you can create a group and you can pick your grade, whatever. You can also link it to a Google Class already. So you can sync the names. And what's cool is once you made a file, you can then go and pick. So you make it your class, you can then the topic, you could just add a topic and you say, oh, this is assignment 2. I want you to do this. And in the settings, you can say, okay, I only want it to show. I want it to moderate so nobody can see it. I turn them on so nobody can see it unless I want them to see. I can say a start and an end date. So like, oh, they can only do it at this time. What's also kind of cool is I can allow them to see each other's or not. I am very careful of what I do that, but that gives them the, oh, I can like it and I can, oh, I give it somebody and say what they like or don't like. If I jump into my classroom and I click, you'll see in my classwork, if you open up, you'll see, okay, so types about, here's a video. If I click this Flipgrid, this goes right to the kid. Now, all the kid has to do is say record. And when you say record, it's going to give them, the kids have to allow the camera. And now you can see, you can say blur the background, right? I can say record, it will start recording. Over here, I can do, if I have a kid, like I'll have kids that don't want their faces. So I'll have them go and grab a sticker. And when they have the video, they'll put a smiley face over their face.
Hi, my name is. I like to do dance. I'm currently doing dance.
But you can see the topics are here. So let me go here. I'm going to say record. But the cool thing is it all comes to you. And I just watch the two. I don't do long videos. I do short little videos. And that's Flip. So I'm glad. So basically, when you go to Flip, you continue with your Google account. You make a group. You say what it is, a classroom. You pick your grade, your ages. Then you give it a name and you can give it a background so that I like to color code so the kids know it's them. Then what happens is you can go and add a topic and then you copy this link and you can give it, and you can put it right in a Google Classroom. This is what I give my kids. And then when you add a topic, you add a question, what it is, you describe it. And you can see it says 2 minutes. I can change that up to 10 minutes. I can do 3 minutes. I can do 1 minute or 50 seconds. It's depending what I'm doing. I have them do a little introduction of themselves, tell me how to pronounce their name, and I do, it's 10 seconds. So, because if you give them long, they'll do that. Then you can go in settings and play around with the settings and all of that stuff too. Like you can like I have it turned on to moderation so nobody else can see it but them. And I can, once I've approved it, then other kids can see it if I want to. So because of the issue, I'm going to use this. So you click on that, it opens up. You have to allow the camera. Once you allow the camera, then up in the right-hand corner, you can pick what camera. Like I have my kids pick their things. Then you can do text and put text over. You can GIFs. You can do smiley faces. You want to do a project, get it out of their system. You can kind of see over here, you can have like grids on the side while the video's there for the kid. You can do things of that nature. You can add photos. So like I did a whole project where I had kids pretend they were like in the Revolutionary War, but they had a phone and they were a reporter back then interviewing like revolution, like, oh, you were at the Battle of Gettysburg during Civil War. What was happening? So we use this for that project. Once they push record, it will start and it will stop immediately as they use the 2 minutes up. So they start, they stop, they start, they stop. If they go over, it won't let them sand it into it until they can trim it. So you do have the ability to trim, split it into pieces, add music, And then at the end, when you can delete sections and confirm it. And when you end, you hit post. And that's where these come to me in a list. So when I click that introduction, so this is what I did. I did a Steam thing. These are all the introductions that teachers sent me. So all I had to do is click and watch it rather than having to. So when I clicked on it and I push play, I can add a comment directly to that person. So here's my kids doing some of the
Have you
work.
videoed it?
Yeah, we videoed it.
Okay, so you're videoing it.
Running mints.
You want to try it around? Yeah, here you go.
So you can see they've got the camera plugged in the laptop. They got the flip grid going. They start, they record what they're doing. They stop, they start, they stop. And then when they hit submit. Very self-contained, very easy for you as a teacher, but you can get short little videos. And sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes this shows me what they're doing. Also, it will show if you have a kid doing nothing. It was really an interesting phenomenon. The kids love the videoing. With Flip 2, you can record the screen. So when my kids are, so when I'm in Flip, the other thing too is when you hit record on something. So I'm in introduction, I hit record. You can go and say, when you hit this record, but up here, there's 3 little dots in the corner. If you click on it, you can go and say, you can go and screen capture. So I'll have my 6th graders will go up here. They won't video, they'll video the building, but they'll video and hit record screen. You select the screen you want to record. So whatever, so say the same thing what I'm doing with you guys. If I want to show, I hit share, and then I would literally, I'm on, and I'm jumping around and moving things, and I'm screen capturing. So when I do when the kids are coding their robots or doing their scratch coding, I have them screen record, or making their Tinkercad 3D objects, I have them screen record. So I just wanted to let you know the Flip lets them screen capture, and that's a great way of showing that one. So that's Flipgrid. Okay. Now there is a built-in screen capture now that's now available too as well. Anybody have questions about Flipgrid? I would recommend going and making an account and do a little video. That's something you're going to have to do. And I will share this slideshow with you and this video too. The Google Classroom and the Join Meet and the Zoom is where I just connect myself class. These little flip grids, and there's others. There's Loom is something that you can do. It's a same thing. It's a web sharing app. It's called Loom. There's Snagit. Snagit is Camtasia. That's one that you can do. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as what I just did with Flip, but this is more a little bit screen capture. The other thing that once you have these videos, the kids they can trim them in Flip, but you can't really edit them. So the next thing is editing. And editing is, you're capturing, and Wevideo is totally free, which is cool for schools. And so what you could do, all video editing software breaks into three parts. You have got your bin where your media is, that's this left side. You've got your viewer where you see what the footage is, and then you'll have tracks. And the more tracks you have, you can have audio, video, text, and they can stack on each other. Okay. And that's Wevideo. So you can record, like Wevideo, you can record right to the screen. You can do a webcam right to the screen. The other ones, the Looms and all that, will have you have your slideshow and then have a picture of you sitting there in front of it. That's the difference. Again, you pick you pick what you want to record. So in this case, I'm recording the screen that my game screen. So you have practical applications of it. Now, once I record this, I have the kids, I put it in so for synchronous to asynchronous, that's your value. So you can do stuff of teleoperation. You can do stuff of controlling the robots from the cameras. And again, you can see what the kids are actually building or doing. So instead of them just telling me, this is them, I see them actually doing the measurement. I see them actually doing the activity. So then instead of them telling, oh, my Lego guy slid down and did this, they actually show me their work. So this is Wevideo. And what this lets you do is you can import. So I can grab a footage and drop it in. And so now I have this clip. So this is, we talked about, there's your bin's to your left. And then your bin's here. What you're viewing is here. So it's just like a TV, play, pause. Down here, I've got video, audio. I can split this in half. So if I go here, you see this little scissors, I can cut it. So what you can do is trim it, get rid of bad stuff, or reorganize something. You can like have something high audio level, like raise and lower it. The cool thing is this is all web-based. You can share it. So when you're done, you can export it, like export it out as a video. So I'll take this and I'll edit stuff if I need to. So for example, this one is a video, me using, so this is Flipgrid. And I was demoing, showing the kids how you can stand in front of a screen and we use Flipgrid. So the kids just did a little Flipgrid, and Flipgrid, you can have chyrons and things all over it. And you can see I have, oh man, I have all this dead time. Well, again, so kids, once they did this, they could bring this out and they could cut dead time. And all I'm doing is using that little scissor, and now I'm dragging it so you can edit it. And this is just using Wevideo, very simple. Now you can get higher level. There's literally, you can pay for stuff. Like I have Adobe Premiere on this, and we could do that if we wanted to, but let me just share my whole screen. But the problem with that is, again, that becomes much more Adobe Premiere. And I'll share it with you and I'll show it to you. It looked very similar to what we just did. We have a bin, we have a viewer, but we have so many more features. Like I can overlap and whatnot. I've purchased Camtasia, and I use Camtasia. And video does take a lot of memory. Like I don't recommend when kids are doing this, we don't have our Wevideo open with 5 other programs. Like we shut everything down so that we're only on one thing at a time. So for example, so I have this program here. This is Camtasia, and it's going to be very similar to what we had before. But what I can do with this is this Wevideo is pretty simple, but this one is a little bit more intense in the sense of the same thing. I have a play of media, I have a viewer, but what I did is, like I talked about here, I can actually, so I pixelated you can see the labeling. You can see there's a track. So I was able to take the track of the sound up and separate it from the original video. So that way, if I want to edit and mess around with it, I can. But I can also add like text. I can add visual effects to it, transitions and things. These pixelators, it pixelates the kid's name, the kid's face. So that's a higher level. I had to pay for this, but so you can see like when we're done this, I'll take this video and I'll put it into my Camtasia, or I could put it into Wevideo, and you can see I've gone in and got rid of like all these little errors I just did with you. I go through and I edit out. So like that, the opening where it was just paused, I'd go and get rid of it. You can see I can go here, I can split, and I can split something again. And I could go here and say, oh, separate that audio out. I've said 20 times and delete that, but the video stays. Or if I want to, I can delete that whole section and pull the whole thing forward or back. Or you can see I can start adding call-ups. I can add text. And again, that's this stuff over here. This you can kind of see looks a little bit fancier, but if I go back, I'm just going to close this. I can go back to the Wevideo, and let me go find the Wevideo. Yeah. and the Wevideo and use that. And again, it's a free version that I have. You get a little bit less transitions. And what they do is how they get you to buy the full version to get more transitions, more extras, things of that nature. But this is how you can make it look fancy. The kids love this. I have my 8th graders, they have to do a promotion video on their 3D object that they do. So I've showed you 3 kind of ways. Let's go back here. So I will use my editing software after the fact to kind of get rid of some of these things that have happened that kind of throw it off. But I really find it interesting because the kids they love videoing and showing the work. And it took my academic assistant role, which they hated, and it made it, they all want to be the academic assistant because they're all feel like they're little YouTubers. And you'll notice the videos I'm doing are all short, little tiny videos. Nothing's really giant. Nothing's a huge long one. It's all short for me. So this is using Flip in the class versus all my older kids will use Wevideo to actually edit some video. I do have a Google form. I'm going to just put it in the chat. So if you have any feedback, if oh, I wish you would talk more about this, I can do that. You can fill that out too as well. I just want to do it before I forget. And all my stuff is on, let me do this. All my stuff, if you go to Steam Makers, steammakers.education, all of the stuff that you see is here. And that's what this is. If you click PD, all the stuff each one is here. So if you click on it, here's about what I did. And here's a YouTube video that was edited using this software. And it does talk about this, this one talks about how I integrate the Flipgrid. Later on, it talks about how you integrate the other stuff too as well. But I wanted you to see that so you could see that there's that 3 kind of ways of doing it. There's the classroom just collecting it. There's the Flipgrid is the individual. That's what I use mine for. And then there's the Wevideo and the editing for that higher level polish project. Now I could spend a whole session only on Flipgrid. I could spend a whole session only jumping just to the Wevideo editing, because that's its own whole thing completely. So, and again, same thing with the Zoom, same thing with Meet. You could spend a lot of time just on those type of things as well. Let me do one more share. I'm going to go back to Wevideo. There is pre-built in stuff too. So you can see I can drop in this tiger footage that they have in with me. And you can do some overlapping. That's what the tracking gives you when you do the Wevideo stuff, is you can overlap. You can lay text over the top of something that's already there. So let me see. Like this right here, this multi-line. If you see what I've done is, if you could see the value of it is the over Mr. Kelly is laying stuff on top of each other, all of that sort of stuff. You can play with animation. I'll have to do a session just on Wevideo because that's quite a thing. When you're all done, so you can add images. Like I'll have my kids do a project and I make them do one thing from each category. I also have them talking about stock footage versus our real footage. We talk about, how you use that, how you can add audio and stuff. The biggest problem kids will have is, that's why I let them with Flipgrid. I do an introduction, so it lets them play with all the settings. They'll love here's a tiger. They'll love all of that. And there's no content. When you're all done, you can hit export and you can say, oh, what definition, what size. I'm going to send it right to YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. The kids so if I go here and say YouTube and you click, you can make a channel. I have a channel that has my files and stuff there too as well. If I switch to, let me go to my school one. Switch accounts. I'll go to my school one. My school one's more educational, but if I go to me, some of this stuff is not me. This is the YouTube rhythm. But if I go to subscriptions, like these are like our we have our own channel. So if you go to RSU 19, you can see like we have different we have a whole channel based on what's going on there for our school activities, so you can watch. And you can have playlists. So in my, let's see, my playlist, my kids can go and like, I have like, oh, how to do videos, how to use the tool, the power tool. I end up using my Google Forms, end up having the training built right in with the doing forms. So for example, when the kids are learning drill press, I've created quizzes using Google Forms, and I'm going to do a session on this on its own. But when they do the question quiz and they open it up and they have the Google form, oh, am I not? Yeah, I'm sharing it still. Good, perfect. The kids, what happens is they literally can take a quiz. I use the form to embed a video. So here's the kid has to say, what is the kid doing wrong in the picture? Looking at the manual. The manual says always wear safety glasses. He's not wearing safety glasses. He puts it in there. Well, when we get down to the video, there's no way. So this video, one of the videos shows the kids like starting the tool and walking away and the tool's still running. I can't do that in a question, but I can do it in a video. And Google Forms lets me embed the video. The kids watch it and I can tell if they understand that concept or not. So that's why I find using video as helpful. Hopefully I've given you some tools. We've got about 5 minutes left. Hopefully I've given you some tools that is useful to you. That is my hope. That's useful to you. These are all places you can go to get more information. If you want more specific, I can do a whole session just on Wevideo, just on Flipgrid, but I'm trying to make sure that you had some tools for you. I said, I'll offer another one in March, and it will be more focused on the Google Forms and the Google Classroom and how I use it to maintain all the collection. This is how I collect videos of what they've built. I'll show you how I use forms to collect the actual work and that type of stuff too. I do, as I say, I try not to overwhelm myself with too much video. Everything's 2 minutes, short stuff, but it's a great way for the kids to show them. This will be video. This will be on the website later on after I edit it. Thank you guys very much.